let's take a look at the top 5 highest offensive player grades for West Virginia in the game against Kansas State. Starting with number 5 here, offensive lineman Tomas Remick with a 72.5 offensive grade. Remick has been asked to fill in for James Gamitter, the past few games after an injury and then some losses in his personal life, which, of course, as we all know by now, led to his retirement as we saw him in this game against Kansas State walk on senior day. He's taken a position with the University Police Department and wish him well in his career moving forward. Had a good career at West Virginia despite being banged up and injuries at time after switching over from defensive line to offensive line. But with that being said, Tomas Remick, a redshirt freshman, has been asked to fill in his place, and he has filled in admirably, especially in the past couple weeks. I do believe last week after in the game against Oklahoma, he was featured in our top player grades there as well, and he shows up there again this week with the number 5 highest grade with the 72.5 offensive grade against the Kansas State Wildcats. And then here with our 4th highest player grade on offense, and that is tight end Treyland Davis, a freshman for the Mountaineers. So you got 2 freshmen here at 5 and 4 spots in the top 5 highest player grades on offense this week. Treyland Davis coming out with a 74.6 offensive grade. I think he's really been doing some good things in the Mountaineer run game, helping the run blocking, especially ever since Garrett Green has taken over at quarterback, and they've been going with a lot of 12 personnel there, 2 tight end sets, and he's played in a little bit more than he has, in recent weeks. And he also has been getting involved in the passing game. We saw him, have a reception or 2 here and there. And then in this game, he has another one. And I think that those 2 things combined is why he was able to come out as the 4th highest graded Mountaineer on offense with his 74.6 grade. And then here we are, the 3rd highest graded Mountaineer on offense in the game against Kansas State was running back Jalen Anderson, 75.5 offensive grade. Probably the best we've seen from him. And I think I would have even liked to see a little bit more of him in this game. He only ended up with 7 carries, but he had 69 yards on those carries. So basically 10 yards a carry for him. No, he broke a 20-plus yarder that nearly looked like he was going to break it for a touchdown. And it looks like maybe finally he's coming into his own a little bit, forced into action maybe before that he was ready and the staff wanted him to be. But I think that experience has really helped him. And it looks like he's ready for some more action. And hopefully in this game coming up against Oklahoma State, we'll get to see a little bit more of him, as well as his running mate Justin Johnson, who came out as the 2nd highest graded Mountaineer on offense in this one with a 75.7 grade. Justin Johnson been a bit banged up in recent weeks. Seems like he's a little bit closer to being healthy. Tony Mathis, on the other hand, we know that he's had his struggles with that elbow injury that, I have mentioned in the past, probably would have kept most people out for the season, but Tony Mathis has battled back and tried to fight through it, but he's certainly not 100%. So with that, accompanied with these player grades, hopefully we'll see a little bit more Justin Johnson and Jalen Anderson this week, and they can let Tony Mathis maybe, take this last final game of the season off and give him some extra healing time heading into the offseason and getting ready for next season, as we know his potential as well. But good to see both the other Mountaineer running backs here on the top player grades, with Justin Johnson coming out as the 2nd highest with the 75.7 grade. And how about the top highest graded Mountaineer in the game against Kansas State? I know to the naked eye, even he had a really good performance, but PFF agrees as wide receiver Cortez Braham comes out with a 75.9 offensive player grade. And that's big just due to the fact that he was making his first career start at West Virginia. And in his first career start, he comes out as the highest graded player on the Mountaineer offense with a 75.9 player grade, filling in for the injured Caden Prather, who was out for that game in the concussion protocol. Hopefully will return this week against Oklahoma State in this upcoming game. He is expected to, but having said that, it is nice to see that he has a very capable backup and a guy that maybe has potential for the future for the Mountaineers in the JUCO transfer, Cortez Braham, who's a player that I've said throughout the season I'd like to see a little bit more of, as well as the other JUCO product West Virginia brought in at the receiver position in Jeremiah Aaron. But I think this game just went to show a little bit of Braham's potential and what he can do for the Mountaineers moving forward, and maybe some of the young potential that the Mountaineers have there. I know Ford Wheaton and Sam James both have the ability to leave, and they may return, but they could move on, both of those guys. And if they do, I think you still should be in good shape on the outside with Caden Prather returning, Cortez Braham potentially returning as well, and both those guys as your outside receiver moving forward isn't a bad look, I don't think, especially when you look at the top 5 highest player grades for the Mountaineers on offense this week, as Cortez Braham comes out as the top highest graded against Kansas State with a 75.9 offensive grade. So there's a look at the offensive player grades there for the Mountaineers in the 11th game of the 2022 season. Having said that, if you are tuned in here on the YouTube video version, do us a favor, hit the like button, give us the thumbs up. That'll really help this video performance and help future videos performances. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Helps us, helps you, helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz. Happy Thanksgiving, Mountaineer Nation. And until next time, let's go, Mountaineers.